Hey,
Mm.
you didn't give us.
Hello, ladies. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, girls. Hey, ladies.
Ha-
How are you?
Hi.
I forget.
Hi.
We get started here. Hey, we're back on, and this is a Tuesday evening. We haven't been back on Tuesdays in a couple of weeks, but we're back, and we're going to continue our Sundays and Tuesday episode of Knowledge is Power podcast with my co-hosts Francis Larkins and LaDonna Sherwood. LaDonna, you can go at it. You know what the program, and
Knowledge
also
is power. Let me give you guys a little bit of information about Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is a platform to share important information by educating Southeast Texas African American communities with valuable information on health, education, finances, politics, and business. We also pride ourselves on keeping our pulse and our hand in everything that is going on in the community. We make sure to let you know what is going down in your town and the surrounding areas. We try to make sure that we keep you abreast and update, and we are super excited about this platform that Tony has created. Francis and I are getting to use our communication degrees that we never get to use. So we're excited about this podcast. And tonight, we are going to give you a wealth of information.
yes, and
Tell them what we're
also
talking about, Francis. Go ahead.
We oh don't do Tony like that. Hi guys, tonight we were talking about mortgage one-on-one. When I am not moonlighting here as a co-host on Knowledge is Power, I am a full-time loan officer. So tonight we will be talking about one of my very favorite topics, mortgage and real estate. Mortgage 101.
yes, and
I'm
our
happy to
special
be here.
guest, and our special guest is Miss SHAWN WEBB LOCKE.
Yay!
Yay! Right, SHAWN. Hey, SHAWN. Hey,
Thank you.
listen. I also want everyone to know who's watching is that you can lock in and subscribe and like us on Facebook on Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We have our own Facebook page that give you lots of history, healthcare, education, just about everything that the community needs. We give you all type of informative information that you can find on that webpage. And also, we got a ton of Black history there that you can learn about that we didn't learn in school. So, lock in on us on Facebook at Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. And we're on here every Sundays and Tuesdays. And my special guest is SHAWN WEBB LOCKE. How are you, my love?
I am great.
Great,
Thank you
great,
for
great,
having me. I'm
great.
excited to be here.
I'm glad to have you too. Let's move you over here to the main screen. Oh, there she is. All right. God dog me. Hey, Sean. I let me ask. I'm gonna ask the first question because I've been in the retail business for 44 years. Would you believe that? And
Yes.
and you've only been but you was in the school system for a while.
I
And
was.
yes, right. And I just want because the audience is watching and listening, and I wanted to let them know that sometimes it's never too late to change career.
Oh, yeah.
And and the one thing about being in the business that you and I in is that we have no limit. We have no cap on what we can produce. Our income is never capped, and we can make as much as we want to make. And I want to ask you this question: Is what made you change career at this time of your life? Did you have
Right.
that in mind? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, like you said, of course, I was with the school district with Beaumont ISD for about 15 years. And I made that career change about 4 years ago I transitioned into real estate. I was transitioned into real estate full time. I was doing real estate and working for the school district, doing dual roles, doing real estate on the side part time. And it, with my husband being in construction, owning Redeem Construction, it only made sense. It came to a point where I was so busy, and I didn't have very much time to attribute to my home life. And so I had to make a decision, and it only made sense. It made more sense to go towards real estate, being that we have so much real estate around us, in the construction world. So that's how I transitioned from the school district into real estate. And I'm so glad that I did.
I bet you. I'm sure you are glad. I'm sure you are glad because let me tell you something. Well, I can tell you so much, and it's going to continue to grow as you continue to work and be dedicated to it because it takes a lot of time. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not what everybody think it is. It's not easy. So
absolutely not.
I am proud of you and proud of you what you have done in a short term.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Listen, Frances, the linen queen, Frances.
Yes.
And I want folks to know exactly that you are really doing a great job here in the area of SHAWN, and I want to kind of talk about the topic that we're going to be talking about. If I can find my my layout. So, Frances, you got a question before I lay it on her? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I do. Well, Miss Rashawn, I thoroughly enjoy working with you. You're such an excellent realtor. You make my job easy. People really don't realize how important it is to have a very knowledgeable real estate agent that knows how to prep their client before you send the referral. Because in the flow of our business, my direct referral source is a realtor. So, can you tell us a little bit about when you get that initial phone call? What do you do when you answer the phone? How do you prep them? How do you get them ready? Let's just give them a little bit of one-on-one, what it's like to really inquire about buying that home.
Yeah, absolutely. And likewise, I enjoy working with you as well, Frances. I appreciate you. And so basically, we get phone calls, my team and I, we get phone calls every day. We get inquiries, whether it's phone call, text message, email, every day. Thank God we get an inquiry about the home buying process or wanting to, look at a home, view a home, and just how to get the whole process started. And what I have found, works best for us is we try to screen our home buyers before we send them over to the lender, and we try to prep that there are no surprises. We try to explain the home buying process to them from start to finish. Because the most common phone call we get is, "Hey, SHAWN, there's a house over on Larry Lane that we want to go take a look at. Can you meet us there? Can we go take a look at it?" And of course, the question to them is, well, are you cash or financing? If you're buying it cash, that's one thing, but if you're financing, which 95% of our buyers are, that's a whole different dynamic. And of course, they'll say, well, no, neither one yet. And I'm like, okay, well, the first step we need to do is to get you pre-approved for financing before we go out there and take a look at that home. And sometimes you get buyers that understand that right off, and then you get some that are kind of apprehensive. They're like, well, no, I didn't really want my credit run yet. I'd rather do that first. And then it's incumbent upon my team and I to explain to them, that's where you're putting the cart before the horse. That's the way it works. You get pre-approved first, because the last thing you want to do is go out and take a look at a home that's out of your price range, or a home that is listed cash or conventional only, and you're qualified for FHA financing. You know what I mean, Frances?
Right.
Yeah, so I'll touch on that. But anyway, so there are types of financing, and then there's a price range that are very important when looking at these homes. And so that is why we ask you, that, or notify you that you need to be pre-approved first. Plus, with all of the with COVID right now, the guidelines and policies have changed. Think about if you're a seller, do you want an unqualified buyer perusing through your home during COVID? Absolutely not. So, those are just some things that we try to touch on. And like you said, Frances, prep our buyers so that they know the process from beginning to end, what their scores, what the minimum qualifying scores are, what the scores, need to be, how to maintain those scores from, just the whole process from earnest money to the closing table.
Well, let me give them a hand. I can show this. Let me give them a hand. Maybe I can show them this, and there we go. There we go. The home buying process 101 is what we're really talking about, people, and it's about getting started. And Shawn has a great flyer here that would kind of introduce you to what you're going to need in the process of buying a home. So we're going to touch on all these subjects here, and that's pre-approval letter, home search, negotiate, an offer accepted, and so on. And we're going to continue that. All right, girls, go ahead.
Go ahead, Miss Rashawn.
No, I mean,
Well, she was
thank you, Tony.
We just put it out there. And that is all those points that are on that's on that flyer. Those are the essential points right there. The pre-approval and the home search. So that's a real tender time right there. So, and especially the negotiations. So all of those things are very. I mean, you got it down. That's a great flyer.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I tried to condense it as much as I could, but like I said, I want home buyers to be educated when they start the process. You got to think about it as a home buyer. Most of our home buyers are just like I was when I bought my first home. I was completely clueless to the process.
Right.
I didn't know that, as soon as we, place an offer on a home, that my, $1,000 earnest money was due,
Right.
the next day or within the next, few days. I didn't realize that,
Make that a binding contract, right?
I'm sorry?
To make it a binding contract.
To make it a binding contract, exactly. And the last thing I want are home buyers, to think. I mean, you'd be surprised at the number of home buyers. Francis, you and I talk about this all the time. Is they come to me and they, and they even get pre-approved for financing. Because their scores are where they need to be, their debt to income ratios are where they need to be, and then we start looking at homes, or they send me homes they want to look at, and I say, okay, well, let's talk about some numbers now before we actually put gas in our car and look at homes. You do realize, there's earnest money that's going to be submitted. There are inspections that need to be ordered and paid for, appraisals and things like that are included in the purchase of a home. And how many of them, Francis, you can attest to this, will say, well, I didn't know that,
Right.
I didn't, I had no idea. And I'm like, no, you're buying a house.
Right.
There are costs associated with it. Now, are there programs that, DPA programs, down payment assistance, and of course, my job as representing the buyer is to get you some help from the seller, some closing cost assistance.
You always do an excellent job with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so yes, we do have things in place to help you offset some of those costs.
Well,
but
sure.
The last thing we want to do is mislead a buyer and make them think that they're going to walk into a house for free, because that's just not the way it works.
Absolutely.
Well, Sharon, can you explain how the down payment assistant works? What's the process of getting assistance on down payment?
Well, I know that there are minimum qualifying scores, just like there are minimum qualifying scores for obtaining home financing. There are minimum qualifying scores for these, what we call DPA, or down payment assistance programs. And that's more Francis's lane. So I'm going to let Francis touch on that.
Great, Francis.
Okay, well, yeah. So, with the down payment assistance programs, they're actually my favorite, because I love people, I love community, and I love putting people in houses. The state of Texas actually allocates funds and set aside funds for those people to obtain housing. So what we want to do, if you qualify for it, meaning you are within a certain income range, depending on the county that you live in, depending on your debt to income ratios, and also depending on your credit score, we can get you up to possibly 4 or 5% of down payment or closing cost assistance, or both. Okay, however you want to use those funds. A lot of times, the interest rate actually all the times the interest rates are associated with the amount of grant or down payment assistance that you want to take on. So DPAs normally run a better interest rate than when you shop for an interest rate. You don't have to typically shop for an interest rate when you're using a down payment assistance program. They are already associated. So if you were to take out, or if you need at least 3% or 4%, possibly up to 5% in down payment and closing cost assistance, that would be on the actual total amount of the loan amount. That is not on the sales price of the home. So you would take 4% of whatever the loan amount, including your upfront mortgage insurance that's typically financed inside of your FHA loan. And that's how you would come up with the additional funds to help you with your down payment and or closing costs. So if you qualify for one of those, and of course they are accompanied by an FHA mortgage or a conventional mortgage, you will still need to, of course, qualify for the basic loan in order to accompany that or partner that with the actual product. I hope that makes sense.
I guess. Yeah, it does. Hey, hey, one viewer has texted and asked that he sees a lot of ads about buying property without using your own down payment. I mean, the own money. I'm sorry. Are you familiar with that, or is it just a scam type deal?
Oh, okay, Rashawn, you want to go for that, or you want me to tackle it?
You can tackle that one, and I'll kind of piggyback off of you.
Okay, so is he talking actually real estate, or is he talking land only?
I don't know. It just says that
Okay.
the ads about buying property without using your own monies.
Okay.
Francis, you want me to touch on that right quick, Francis?
Yeah,
you and I just
ahead.
had a conversation about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, okay, so Francis and I, like I said, we just had a conversation about this the other day, and it's a little bit misleading. Are there programs out there, again, to reemphasize, are there programs out there that can provide you with the down payment assistance to help you get into the home? Absolutely. And how much DPA you can receive from those programs is kind of a case by case situation, again, depending on your credit scores, depending on your debt to income ratios. It's kind of just a case by case. There is no blanket coverage for DPA. So in my opinion, to broadcast that, or to promote that, you can, get into this home for zero down. I mean, unless you're going VA, which is military affiliated, where you have zero down payment, there's still closing costs associated with that, but that is a zero guaranteed, zero down payment. But unless, you're going VA, it's a little bit misleading to promote that. And so that is why my team and I personally we try to steer clear of promoting, zero down payment or getting into this, this home for zero down. It's just not realistic for most of our buyers.
Right.
Wait, another question. Inspection. My mic or somebody else's mic? Wait a second. Hold on. Let's see here. Okay, great. Is it? Tell me about the inspection. I know that's an inspection fee, and don't you get that inspection fee back after the close of a home sale, Shawn?
No, not the inspection fee. Okay, so you've got your inspections, and then you have your appraisal. And just like on my flyer there, I have them listed. Your inspections are not required. They are strongly advised. We strongly urge and advise all of our home buyers to get an inspection. But if they choose not to, they can opt out of the inspections. Many of our investors, of course, opt out of inspections because they're investors. They know what they're getting, and the seller is not, likely not to make repairs on investment property. That's a whole different ballgame. But your traditional home buyer that's buying, an existing home, we urge them to get those home inspections, which can range anywhere from $350 to on average about $500, depending on what type of inspections they want. Do they want just a generic home inspection, or do they want a termite inspection? And so, but to answer your question, Tony, the home inspection is not required. It is FYI only. It is for your information only. Now, do we use those inspection reports to negotiate repairs with the seller? Absolutely. It's a negotiating tool. If the inspection report identifies that, the roof needs to be replaced, or there are some foundation issues, or the HVAC system needs to be repaired. Well, of course, we use that as a negotiating tool because we have it in writing right here. The inspector has identified that, and that needs to be rectified prior to moving forward. But it's different from the appraisal. Your inspection fee is not refunded to you at closing. Your appraisal is, most of the time you pay for your appraisal up front, which is separate from the inspection. And that you typically get as a credit towards your closing costs, because that number is typically already factored into your closing costs, but not the inspection. That's a different type of inspection, so to speak.
Okay, well, Francis, got another question?
Yeah, well, I'm going to piggyback off what she says. And coming from a lending standpoint, we do not require that you obtain a home inspection. However, we strongly suggest. And some of the personal reasons that I've gained just through experience, what the home inspection can do is not only help your realtor or your professional real estate agent negotiate a better deal for you as far as closing costs and sometimes even the pricing of the home. It allows you to possibly close those loans quicker as well. When our appraiser is going in, he's looking for things that FHA or the actual conventional mortgage will be identifying as problematic for the loan to actually close, fund, and be sold to a on the back end, if you will. So it also helps a lot with the appraisal and the turn time. So once the appraisal comes back, if some of the things are already identified early on through the home inspection, you can go ahead and get those things placed and replaced or talked about. Because if you have a very experienced real estate agent, they have a skilled and trained eye. So that's why it's super important. A lot of people want to go out willy-nilly and negotiate their own deals. But with a real estate agent that has a lot of experience, such as Rashawn, and she can easily identify those things early on. And it also helps you save money, because if you go ahead and get that home inspection, get it identified, get those problems fixed, once the appraiser goes back out there, he has no need to go back, and you won't be charged that additional fee to clear the appraisal subject twos. So there is definitely a rhythm when it comes to that home inspection, and it should really ease you at night. But the appraisal, moving forward, the appraisal is definitely required by your lender. It easily helps you not only identify the things and items that need to be fixed and give my buyer some comfort, but it also gives you the amount of the value of your home. So those are things that you want to know, because we can't close on a property or lend money to you unless we know exactly how much the house is worth. Okay, so there's those tools, everything that is kind of set up in the home buying process. It kind of the first part helps with the end. So every step that you are advised by your professional to take along the way, it is very important that they're not just there because we have fun making you pay for things. They're there to protect you. So it is very essential that you kind of follow suit and take the suggestions of your professional during the real estate process. Yeah.
Well said.
Well, Sean, okay, we get there. We get there. I'm just writing all the questions. I'm just writing all this down because I'm getting texts from everybody that's texting me and asking questions. I guess they're on another. They're on our podcast, but they're on another platform watching us. And so now I'm on this here, not watching here. So, but my question is, Sean, is that what if a home were appraised for $80,000 and a buyer is asking for $10,000, and the client and the homeowner is asking for $120,000, and the homeowner is going to use $20,000 for down payment. So I'm asking this question because this is what I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting the question right. Do the lender we're stretched if the home was appraised for $90,000 and the buyers were $10,000 off from the loan what the house was appraised for?
Okay, I'm thoroughly confused on the question, but I will. I'll answer it. I'm going to answer what I think you're trying to ask. What I think you're asking. I think they're asking that if the house underappraises, let's say the sales price is 100,000. Let's do it that way, okay? Right. And let's say the house appraises at 90,000. That means the appraiser has given the property a value of $90,000. There's a $10,000 difference there.
Right.
Okay. Well, somebody's got to make up that $10,000.
And it won't be your lender.
Right. And it won't be the lender. Lender's not going to $10,000.
Unless we send them back out and they change it, the appraiser.
Right. Okay. So what happens is we've got an option here. The seller can reduce the sales price to the appraised value. Yes, I thought my house was worth $100,000. That's what it was on the market for. But it appraised at 90,000, so we can reduce the property to the 90,000 and move forward. Or we can, as a realtor, again, like Francis said, if you have an experienced realtor, your realtor can give you these options and maybe even file an appeal. It doesn't mean you're going to win it, but your realtor agent on the buyer side, your realtor can file an appeal. Can appeal that decision and ask for a reconsideration of value. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get it, but they can at least try to send, that appraiser some comparable values, what we call comps, to support the price of that home. And ask for reconsideration. That's another option. Or in very rare cases, I've seen it happen where the buyer in the middle and say, okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll reduce the house to 95,000. Right, buyer, you bring another 5,000. You really want the house. They meet in the middle. They get it sold. There are a number of ways to attack that. So I've answered it based on
Yes, you did.
What I think they tried to ask.
I think that's what they're asking. Yeah, he expect. Yes, thank you so much. That's what they want to know. Well, great guys. If you got any questions, please drop us a comment in the comment box, and we are asked Shawn Sold It. We asked Shawn on all the questions you need to know about the buying process 101 and buying a house. I know a lot of you all want to buy a home and thinking about buying a home, thinking about selling your home. Also, they could take your home, which you are you want to sell to get into another home. That's part of the game too.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, absolutely. We can help buyers and sellers. If you're thinking about buying your home or selling your home, we can definitely help you. Just give one of us a call, myself or one of my team members, Jamie, Melanie Smith, at the Shawn Sold It Real Estate Team with American Real Estate, 409-554-6599. We're on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Oh, okay. You're going into the advertising part. There you go. I'm all in this one. Yes, got it. Yeah. That's right. Shawn Sold It, Real Estate Team.
Shawn Sold It,
yes. 409-554-6599. Now tell me about your team. Yeah, I see you've got some new players on your team.
I do. We have some new team members. We have Jamie Smith and Melanie Smith, and they are readily available also. And so, like I said, if you call that 409-554-6599, you can contact any of us. That phone number will direct you to any of us. Again, or you can email us at teamshawnsoldit@gmail.com. Any of us will intercept your email. We are located at 6470 Phelan Boulevard, American Real Estate here in Beaumont, but we do service all of Southeast Texas. We service the surrounding areas, Mid-County, you name it, we service it.
Francis? Oh, I'm sorry, I have your mic off. Okay, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
No, that's okay. I was like, well, maybe he doesn't want me to talk anymore because I will talk until 8:30 about mortgage. But Rashawn,
wait a minute. Before you go to hold that pen there, because this young lady wanted to talk, and I kind of.
Listen, he had my mic off too, and I was stuck backstage. Okay, I was trying to just chime in briefly about home values and that appraisal. And sometimes with insurance, what we find is the insurance company is also going to assess a value to your home.
Right.
Oftentimes, we'll do JCAD, and the insurance company has their own software. So you're right. If that home appraises for a certain value, and it's not actually close to that listing price, the insurance company is only going to insure you 20% over or 80% up to 80% under what that value of that house is in the valuation system, not what you paid for it.
Right.
I did run into a similar situation where a lady was going to buy a house and the house was like $450,000. Well, when I put it in Farmer's system, the house only appraised for 389,000. So at that moment, she went back to her realtor and she said, "Listen, I can't insure it for more than 120% or 80% on a lower scale. You can't." So you do want to make sure that that home valuation process is also being addressed with your insurance agent, and a knowledgeable insurance agent matters, because if you buy a house for a certain price and you can't insure it for what you bought it for, then you're going to take a loss if something happens. That home
Absolutely.
valuation is very important.
And
Good.
LaDonna, not to cut you off, Rashawn, but let me tell you how you say how insurance saves lives daily.
Hmm.
With the debt to
Let me
income
tell
ratios,
you.
when it comes to your
Hmm.
principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, honey, when I tell you that matters when it comes down to your mortgage payment, people don't realize how much that matters when it comes to your monthly mortgage. But without your insurance, the transaction cannot be complete. And also with your escrows, it matters as far as your closing costs, because they got to collect some of those escrows and those fees and that premium that you, the insurance agent, will quote them. So we need some good, strong
Right.
quotes that's going to pay out when those good
Right.
old hurricanes hit. So,
Right. And let me say this, another thing that happens in buying properties and selling properties, either way, insurance will affect your pocket on a month-to-month basis. Like Francis
yeah,
is saying, that escrow and what's being paid out monthly, what you pay in taxes and as far as principal and interest, that's one thing. But that insurance can actually take that home, what you pay monthly, up hundreds, even $1,000 a month. So you do want to make sure that you are shopping for the most competitive insurance prices,
that's right.
and that you're getting the most bang for your buck as far as value
That's
and
right.
what
You
they're
want some
going to
quality.
cover. Farmers is the only insurance company that offers 100% of water damage. All other insurance companies will only pay a portion of any water damage that means above the slab. Okay, so if a pipe bursts or your water heater or the children overflow the bathtub, let's be clear. Farmers is the only one that covers 100% of water.
Okay.
Just so
Now,
you guys know.
what policy is that?
Look, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
girl.
No,
what
that's
policy
the
is that?
regular, that is the regular fire homeowners policy. Now, that's not windstorm, and flood is a separate policy. But what I'm
Right.
telling you is most insurance companies are going to cap that water damage at $5,000 to $10,000. You cannot,
Mhm.
you will not get more than that. It doesn't matter if you overflow the whole kitchen. Okay, what I'm saying is Farmers is the only company that covers 100% of water for broken pipe or leaky
Mhm.
pipes and overflowing toilets and water heaters and things of that nature. And Farmers is also the only company that offers an affinity discount, meaning it applies directly to teachers, policemen, firemen, judges, doctors, librarians, pilots. You can get with me, but I want to make sure that you guys understand when it comes to insurance, it's very important to get a knowledgeable agent.
Oh, yes, ma'am, it is.
Yeah, you got it,
Oh,
baby. I post you up too. I'm ready.
Tony, you are good at this. You are on point.
Everything you got. I'm on top of it, baby. I'm rolling. Next.
I am so proud of you tonight, Tony.
He is doing it, Miss LaDonna.
See, well, I got enough talkers now, Sean, and I can work behind the scene here and move these buttons around here so we can do that. I am so glad to have you on the show because our show, this platform, Knowledge is Power podcast, is basically about giving our community important information on just a general information that we don't know. A lot of time I have guests on here, I don't know, and I'm just trying for myself. Wait a minute. but it's we all don't know, and and we all know if we were not told about it, and so this is why we have do this every week. So we want our community to know who.
And the Bible says that our people perish for a lack of knowledge. So I love the
Girl, you
title,
better say it.
Knowledge is Power. So what you don't
Yes.
know, you can be held accountable for, because it can cost you in the long run. That's why we pride ourselves on bringing you knowledge and information that you can use in your day-to-day life, that is going to save you money, keep you healthy, wealthy, and wise, baby, because your health is also your wealth. I'm super excited that we bring on healthy people and lifestyle people and all of that. I'm super excited about this podcast. And thank
Yes,
you, Rashawn, for all your information tonight.
yes, you have been a big
Thank
help.
you. Thank
Hey,
you,
but
LaDonna.
I've got one. I've got another question here while we still have it, because I know they want to know this. Well, maybe I need to be asking the Linen Queen this, but since we all
Mm.
talked about buying homes, and I have one more other I want to get after, because I've always got to say this, because being an African American farmer owner and business owner, and for years, I like to always want my people to know that we want to do business with our own that looks like us.
Oh,
And
yes.
yes, and it's very
Absolutely.
important that I it's very important that I push this forward. That I want you to know that, Sean, that I know what you go through, and we all go through as Black African Americans in business. Is that we get overlooked, we're not good enough, we don't want to do business with our own kind. I want the audience to know we are going to service our African American people, and this is the only way we can get ahead. And we make things happen better for you without having to give away our product. But we're going to do the best that we can for you than anyone else. I want you all to know that. I want you to know that too as well. Let's talk about down payment. What is the least amount percentage I can put down on a home if I want to buy another home or another? Yes, let's answer that question.
Okay, so it basically depends. The least amount just in general is 3%, or actually zero if you're a VA. If you are retired military or current military or any military background and you have your DD 214, we can always try you out with the VA loan, which is 0% down payment. But typically, just on average for an FHA or a conventional mortgage, first time home buyers for a conventional mortgage is 3%. And then if you are second time, then it goes up to 5. And the most traditional loan product that I use very often is FHA, and that is a flat 3.5% down.
Okay, so Sean, if I rent a property, if I'm going to buy three rental properties, is my down payment going to be the same, or it's going to be more because it's not going to be my primary home?
Correct. Rental property is considered investment property. So
Mhm.
that is a different type of financing. For investment property, you typically must go conventional. And I see Frances shaking her head, so I hope I convey this correctly. But for investment property, through my own experience, you will go conventional, and you will put upwards of 20% down. It will not be the 3%, the minimum 3% of the sales price down payment, as if you were buying your primary residence.
So
Yeah.
there's no way around that.
So, well, for the loan products, you're definitely gonna be okay. Because just think about it, you're having a riskier loan. So if you had just think about it as like kind of like a common sense type thing. If you were to have to choose, would you pay your investment property or would you pay your primary property mortgage? You would more than likely pay your primary first, and the other one just gonna have to go. But so it's a riskier loan, right? So you
Right.
got to put more skin in the game.
Okay.
Sometimes the mortgage insurance, of course, will be on a little bit of the upward, and you're to kind of offset some of that. You need to have like a higher interest rate, and of course, your interest rate is going to feel it because again, it is a riskier loan. So yeah, you got to put a little bit more skin in the game. You got to have a little bit more money in the bank, so that you can close on that investment property.
Yeah. And
Good.
typically, just to piggyback off of Francis, and typically, with investment property, or financing for investment property, typically those terms are shorter as well. They're typically not 30-year terms. They typically run 15 to 20 year, even 10-year on some properties.
Now, I want you to come back again, Sean, and do a seminar for first time buyers. And while we're going to talk about first time buyers, so let's just brush on that a little bit. So if just in case we have some first time buyers that
And
is
I'm
on.
not, I don't mean to be, but I do have a cousin, Tasha, that works with Brandon Johnson. And I mean, maybe we can bring a few other realtors in as well. I would be remiss if I didn't really, bring her up and say that she's out there, she's selling houses. And so is Brandon. Those are like my really good, close friends and people like that. And I know that realtors work together all the time because a
We
lot of the
do.
listings
And lenders,
you're
yes.
you're buying and selling with other realtors. So it's
It's
not like
relational.
you're taking anything from one of the realtor. They may have a listing and your person may be looking for a property and it all works together. It's not a, we can bring more if, us, because we got to watch
I
our
agree.
back and take care of our people. So I just want to say, my cousin, shout out Tasha. I'm so proud of you, and Brandon, I'm so proud of you guys. I'm happy with you guys. And I know that they do first time home buyer classes in the libraries and kind of
Yeah.
volunteer in the community to provide information.
Okay, you through cutting me off? All
Look,
right.
she had to put that plug in there. She had to get it in.
Yeah.
She had to get it in before that 8:30, honey.
Yeah, listen. So when we talk about first-time buyers, is there any special incentives for them? And what's a typical home of first-time buyer? And no, I know it's based on your income because the DTI can get out of line, and they don't know what DTI is, and that's debt to income. Okay, go ahead.
Is this for me or Francis?
I'll go ahead and tackle it
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
Rashawn just sends her
I'm
a phone.
trying. I'm trying to get
So
that.
when it comes to first time home buyers, it's really a hazy situation because there is really no first time home buyers programs, but there is, wordplay and there's a push on it. The only things really that I have found for first time home buyers incentives are the 3% down for the conventional mortgage. And also there is something called the MCC credit, which adds additional income to those that have a possible DTI issue. We use it for that. And sometimes if you make over a certain amount, it helps with tax cuts and tax breaks on your taxes. Okay. So for anyone that is looking for a home, you typically are going to get great service no matter if you're a first time or second time. Now, if you go into investment properties or second homes, then it kind of moves into a different, that's a different ballpark. But if you're just buying another home or if you're a first time home buyer, you are privy to all of those things that any other home buyer is privy to that is looking for a primary residence. Let's say that. But there are a few things out there and a few tricks out there when you are a first time home buyer that lenders can help you out with. I'm sorry, Mr. Shine, go ahead.
No, you're good. You explained it perfectly. I just wanted to touch on that, and that's from on the lending side. That's vital information that people need to know. On the realtor side, from a real estate perspective, to answer your question, Tony, we actually, my team and I, we pride ourselves on. We kind of specialize in first time home buyers, and the reason we say that is because we feel like we have. We feel like we've kind of perfected or almost perfected the home buying process for first time home buyers. Of course, it's always a process, and we're always learning new things and learning new tricks and trades from lenders and tips and things like that. But as far as the actual home buying process, home buying 101 as we call it, we feel like we are perfecting it by taking, kind of holding the home buyer's hand and walking them through that process step by step from, like I said, beginning from, putting them in touch with our local lenders here, such as Francis, and, helping them with the pre-approval process, letting them know, hey, these are your minimum qualifying scores. You don't always need credit repair. We've got lenders that can give you maybe a credit action plan to boost your scores quickly, get you pre-approved, home search. We sit down and we do a consultation with them, with first-time home buyers. We do a one-on-one consultation, so that there are no hidden fees, no surprise costs. They know what to expect from the time they get their pre-approval till closing day, when they get their keys, and everything in between. Like you said, there's so many aspects of it. I try to condense it in that flyer, that home buying one-on-one flyer. But when we do our one-on-one consultation, by the way, and we're doing all of our home buying consultations via phone call and Zoom due to COVID. But when we do these consultations, and we've been doing quite a few of them lately with our first-time home buyers, we just want them to be educated and informed on the whole process. And that way, when they're going through the process, there are no surprises. They know, oh, okay, so you said, now our offer is submitted. Now I got to submit my earnest money. Oh, okay, now I need to order my inspections. Okay, so this is, now the appraisal is next. Oh, okay, so the title company is going to order the survey. Okay, so now it's closing day. They know what to expect, what order it's going to go in, and how much it's going to cost them.
Well said. Well said. And that's the way it should go, and that's the way it should be. And you don't, nothing just popping up out of the dark and say, hey, here I am. So I understand that very well. So here's another question I have. I got so many questions because everybody's texting me these questions, and they're not on our main screen. So that's what I'm saying. You got people, please comment on the podcast screen. And I guess I'm getting it from another, but I'm getting it from another source. We're on 7 platforms, so I have to sync all that into one platform. But I appreciate those who are watching, those that's going to watch the show at a later date, and when they come through this, I want them to be aware that we know and we want to answer your question about home buying, and also want to let you know that this is our buyer, this is our seller right here. There we go, Shawn Soder, the real estate team. That's right. That's right. And we want you to please, when you're looking for a home, we want you to look up Shawn Soder and her real estate team. And we wish the best for you, Shawn. And I said that before. We're proud of you and what you have done in a very short time. And it's called determinations. Now, my other question. I say I got cut off from Donna.
Donna will cut you off again.
I was before I got there, but anyway.
She do not.
She gonna pop in again. She gonna pop in again. But let me question is I'm living in this home, and I see another home, and we're gonna buy this next home, and what if the home that I'm currently living in sells before the home that I'm buying?
Yes, that can happen. We've had that happen. Where, well, the way we try to school our sellers and our buyers, of course, we try to coordinate them as closely as we can with the sale of one home. To put you in position to purchase and move into your new home. But in the event that your current home does go under contract before you find your new home, there are a couple of different techniques or strategies we can use to try to offset that. But one of them is that, when you do find your current contract on your existing home, we can ask for, instead of a 30-day closing, we can ask for maybe a 45 or 60-day closing to give you time to find your new home and put it under contract. And vice versa, if the buyer of the new home needs a 60-day closing or even, more than that 75-day closing, we can always request that to give you time to get your affairs in order to purchase your new home and get this one closed out over here.
Great.
Now, for a lending standpoint, that's wonderful for me. It doesn't put that much strain on me. because it actually alleviates me from some of the stress of that DTI problem that could possibly be happening
Right.
should you want to purchase a new home and you're still carrying a mortgage. We can offset that a little bit as long as you have a contract that is executed. We don't have to include that debt, those taxes, that insurance, that the none of the PITI in your new calculations for your debt to income. So for me, that makes it great until, these people don't have anywhere to go because something happened with the appraisal or something happened. But in a perfect world, it's a perfect situation for a lender. So we love when things just work together for the good. So
That's good.
yeah.
All right, we back again. Let's see, let's post this back up here again so our folks can watch it and see and know what we are doing. That's of course, I'm gonna move some of my banner here. There we go, so we can see it all. There we go. Girl, still fine too. Hey, listen.
Tony,
Oh
Madonna,
my!
come get it. Where you at, Madonna?
I'm gonna charge him.
Look, I'm back, guys. It's loud where I am. I was trying to get to a place where it could be quiet so that you guys wouldn't hear these people in the background. But I'm
What's up?
excited. I'm not really sure. Are we ending the show right now?
You
We're
got
about to
6
go to a
minutes.
close in a minute, but I wanted to ask one question here. Let me move this screen here so I can see Sean. Sean, I
Okay.
know your husband is in the real estate business as well, correct? And he's a
What's
home
it?
builder, right?
Correct.
Right,
Redeem
right,
construction.
right. Tell us. I'm gonna give him a little plug right now, but I'm gonna charge him for this.
He
Put it
needs
on
it.
our tab. Yeah, put it on our tab. We're
Tell,
good.
just kind of in ways that people hitting people in. I know he's looking, watching, but tell us a little bit about Redeemer and where you guys are building. Yes, go ahead.
It's Redeem Construction, and Redeem Construction, they do spec homes, custom homes, remodels, and I'm kind of the spokesperson for Redeem right now. Redeem Construction 409-454-7296, and we also offer financing now. So if you want that new kitchen remodel or that bathroom remodel or that new roof or that HVAC system, you give us a call, and we now do financing.
Well, are you guys responsible for American? Is it American Title right beside? What's the title company that's right next door?
All American Title, yes, yes.
You're responsible for that construction, aren't you guys?
Thank you, Francis. Yes, we did do
I love it.
we did the build out for that title company. Yes, absolutely. That one, and was it the one in Mid County? Yeah, Mid County and Beaumont. The build out for those commercial buildings. So thank you, Francis.
Absolutely.
You see now those who need remodeling your homes or renovating, Redeem Constructions, they're for you. We always have a problem trying to find someone. Oh, I want somebody I can trust, someone that's going to do a good job.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to find that person or that company. So I want also to know the viewers to know that there is a Redeem Construction, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Redeem Construction. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. Again, and you can find us on Facebook as well. Just look up Redeem Construction on Facebook. You can see some of the work there. And we are revamping our website right now. So when we get that new Redeem website up, that also will be posted.
All right. Okay. Francis, it's your baby. You can close it out for us, love.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Miss Rashawn with Rashawn Sold It Realty Team. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for being just in industry, you run across so many people. I just want to say how much I appreciate you and I value you, and just for being a good person and being honest when it comes to your clients. You have a lot of people that have all the glitz and glam around them, and they are just not as true or as skilled, even though they have some years in the game. So I appreciate you for just being who you are and knowing that I can trust my referral and my business with you, and that they're going to have a clean, honest deal, and they're going to be very knowledgeable before they leave you and come to me, Lord. So I appreciate you so much. Hey, Madonna.
Look, hey girl, I'm back.
Okay, we're back. We're back. We come to a close now. I'm like the old preacher now. We're coming to a close now.
Good. That's great. I was popping in and out in the middle of what I was doing. I'm glad that we're coming to a close. I enjoyed you guys. I think it was a great show. Rashawn, we appreciate you. Francis, we love you. We know how hard you're working. And Tony, you did really good tonight, baby. I'm proud of you with working your buttons over there. You did an awesome job. And we'll see you guys real soon on Knowledge
Yeah.
is Power podcast. Tony, go ahead and close us out.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate you. And I also want to invite you back again one-on-one on some just basically we want to keep the community informed. You know, we got to continue to educate the people of our communities and have them be aware of what not aware, but give them awareness of the people that's in business.
Thank
So
you.
with
I
that said,
appreciate all of you. Thank you.
with that says Sean sold it. She did it.
Yes.
She done it. So thank you so much, Sean, and thank you everyone for watching Knowledge is Power
Thank you,
Podcast
guys.
Live. Yes, we are going live. Love it. I love it.